partnerships, relationships is what life's all about. And we ventured into this to see how we could improve our relationship and improve things between us and probably things for the school. And we looked at a few challenges in life, but talking about life, Makhomo has a very interesting life story. So I'm going to hand you over to Makhomo. Let her tell you a bit of her life story.
Okay, thanks, Rich. Evening, everybody. When I first met with Rich, I was a little bit confused. What is the purpose of us forming a partnership? And the first question that Rich asked was that, Makhomo, do you know that in life everything is about intentions? And are you aware that everything that we do is about choices? And we were in my office and he said, I need to know who you are and your background, why you chose to become a teacher. And I said, it's a long, long story. If you don't mind, I will share my story with you. What has driven me to share my story with him is because he asked me that in life there are choices that we make. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope I'm not going to bother you because I think I did share my story with some of you. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Please pardon me. It's part of our preparation for today's presentation. I'm just going to summarize it because it's a very long, long story. I became a teacher, but before I was a teacher, I was just an ordinary child from Meadowlands in Soweto. At the age of 14 years, I became an orphan. And at home, we were 5. It was my brother, then myself, and another brother after me, and then my 2 sisters. I just passed JC Junior Certificate. I was intending to do my Form 4 then. And during that time, after the burial of my mom, we had nobody to look up to. Because remember, during that time there were these past laws and other things that restricted our relatives to come and stay with us. So we stayed, the 5 of us. My brother was 16, if not 17 then. And then my grandmother, after the burial, he took both my younger sisters to somewhere in Free State where she stayed. And remember, at that time we had to pay the rent, we had to have food. We did not know anyone to help us. And when we went to the municipal office to go and inform them that we do not have parents, they said, if you don't have parents, you must make sure that you pay the rent. Otherwise, we'll charge you out of the house. Unfortunately, that time there was one guy who was working there. He tipped us that when these officials ask you, do you know anyone somewhere in the Platte land or something, just say you don't know anyone. Otherwise, they are going to charge you out and you won't have any place to sleep. And then we had to stand like this, and they said, what's your name, what's your name, what's your name? And then we told them our names, and they said, don't you know any uncle, grandmother anywhere? We said, no, we don't know anyone. Now, you must make sure that you go and work and pay the rent. We said, no, yes, we'll do that. That time I didn't even have a passbook then. This guy helped us to get a passbook. Remember, at that time my brother was about 16 years. I didn't have a passbook because I was under the age. And as you know, the environment at that time was very, very harsh. My brother was consumed by involving in drugs, dacha smoking, and we could not even go back to school because there were school fees to be paid and other things. And it was very difficult. I had to go and work. I was working in a factory in Doornfontein at the age of 15, if I'm not mistaken then. Doornfontein in plastic factory. I was earning 29 rands then per week. And then every month I used to send my grandmother 10 rands through the telegram to assist her to feed my little sisters. And life went on, and then sometimes I could not pay the rent because some other money I had to send we used to communicate with letters with my grandmother. And we did not pay the rent, I'm sure for about 2 months. And then the municipalities would send the police, they were called then blackjacks. They came there and around 3 o'clock in the morning, we were asleep. They went, get into our yard, and then they kicked the doors. Wake up, open the doors. And then when you opened, it was just myself and my 2 brothers. And then we had to wake up, and then he said, you guys did not pay the rent. Why didn't you? In fact, when they get, why are your parents? Why are your parents? We said, we don't have parents. And they said, why? What happened? No, they died. Now you guys, you are owing the rent. Otherwise, if you don't pay the rent, we're going to charge you out of the house. And then myself and my younger brother, we looked at our elder brother. And then they said, now we are arresting. Who's the elder? We said, it's this one. And they said, we are arresting him. For you to release him, you must go and pay the rent and then bring the receipt at the police station. Then we will take it and release him. And he was arrested. And we were left alone with my brother, And I worked at Jura World, and then I fell pregnant. With my current husband, my first childhood sweetheart till today.
Did you make a
Okay, let me cut it short. Okay, my choice was that after I had my firstborn, my husband married me, and then I told him that I want to go to school. I went back to school to do Form 5, not even Form 4. I did not do Form 4. I passed, then matric, and then I went to Standard Bank for 5 years. I was still happy. I told him that I want to go and do teaching. I went to college, completed my diploma, concurrently with doing the sports management with Potchefstroom University. I passed. I worked as a teacher at East Bank High School for 10 years. I became an HOD, a deputy, and then today I'm the principal. So that is the long and short of my story.
Just very quickly, would you say you had a good education?
Yes, I did.
So a very interesting question arises. We've got basic education in South Africa.
Yes, we do.
Now, if I said to you, let's have a marriage, if I was your husband, and I said to you, let's have a basic marriage,
Yes.
how would you like that? No loving, no caring, just marriage.
No, I wouldn't even dare marry you, Richard.
But why would we want to have a basic, anything then?
Because it is basic education. It's important.
But why is that word? It's like you say basic education like there's something wrong with it. Or there's
No,
something right with it.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's
No.
basic education, and accept it, Richard.
But
It's
basic,
that, yes. Of
basic
course.
education, why is that word in front there? I mean, everything in life has an intention.
Why?
Why is there basic in front of education?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with this word basic?
Well, you didn't like the fact that I was going to give you a basic marriage.
Yeah, because you told me that there's no love, there's no caring.
But if it's a basic education, then there's no love, there's no caring, there's no maths, there's no science.
But this one does have that.
But 148 out of 148 in the world? Is that basic? Why is the word basic then? Come
You
on.
tell me because you are interested. I know that we have basic
Do you
education.
think there's a reason? Did they have an intention of putting it there?
Yes, I think so.
What was the intention?
Then you get basic education.
Yeah, and then 148 out of 148. What's that?
You tell me,
Basic.
Richard.
Don't you think the word basic is because it's a disclaimer?
Disclaimer?
A disclaimer.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So when it's all we promised you was a basic education, what do you expect? Basic.
Richard? I don't
Not
understand.
kidding.
What are you trying to say?
It's a disclaimer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.